So you think that okay? So Duplicat's basically a body snatcher, is what we're trying to say here.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Like Ditto, fair enough, is that anyway, but it's kind of shit at it, like because of the dopey face. Like it can't be the full snatcher. Like
People keep forgetting it's because that one Ditto in that episode was like a little bit special. It was
yeah.
It was supposed to copy the faces correctly.
That was it. Yeah, it is in theory meant to, but I like how like that one shit Ditto has like tarnished the reputation of all the others. Like,
in fairness, that is something that a Pokemon should take on in like future games. Like, just you can imagine the two good boy legendaries in this game.
Yes.
Just imagine them with a Ditto face.
Completely ruined them, I think, would be the assessment there. They would no longer be good boys. If you just go good, good
God, no!
Good God, good. Just there, like you're like your trainer going, thanks, I hate it. Can I have the other one?
Oh no!
Oh no, both of them are bad. Do you know what? I'll just go for the evil Cloud. The evil Cloud is nicer looking now.
Yeah, the evil angry Cloud.
Yes, angry Cloud.
Actually, Arceus isn't in Crown Tundra, I don't think. So I can. Oh, what the hell? Oh, that's the final form, I'm guessing, of the Brainfish.
Yes, our token water psychic.
Yes.
Look how happy he is. God.
Oh God, I can actually take a hit as well. But yeah, no, I'm trying to think what they could do with the Crown Tundra that hasn't been released yet in Crown Tundra, and how many of them could be? There's going to be explicit Z moves and explicit Dynamaxes or Mega Evolutions for them, and I don't know. I would think if you're, what I'd love to see happen is the ones that haven't been released yet are going to have a Mega form or a Dynamax form that are new to them as they release. That's one thing that should have been done more. Like,
it's kind of curious, isn't it? But yeah,
no new Dynamaxes in this DLC.
But then again, there is like a rake of legendaries, so you're kind of getting like legendaries instead of Dynamaxes, really.
Oh yeah, no, I'm being really greedy here in saying that they had put out the Isle of Armor. Oh, by the way, you can take these starters, which are able to Gigantamax into new forms. They could have done the same thing here, where like, oh, here's Crown Tundra, there's loads of legendaries. By the way, do you want one of the Gen 2 starters? Yeah,
it would have been nice to have something like that. But I suppose like because you had so many legendaries, that was kind of like said, like, fair enough. Let's just keep this keep that on for reserve for like DLC 3 if they go that far. You know, they might have decided, we've had our fill now with this. Let's move on to the next project. But like by all accounts, they seem to have been big sellers. So you know, hopefully they'll give us a third one. You know,
I am hoping for a third one. I'm just trying to think what the main selling point is going to be, apart from here's the last batch of 100 or so that haven't been in it so far.
I think surely the next port of call is Megas and Z moves. Like that seems to be the next port of call.
I'd love to see that. I'd love to see that. I really would. Because the whole deal with them is they made in some cases they overpowered things, and you can absolutely say that. But in other ones, like they've made like Ampharos, which is good, but you're not going to go into a competitive battle with it.
Yes,
they made it competitive battleable.
Oh yeah, with like a special attacking Mole Breaker with Dragon ability. Fucking yes, sir.
Exactly.
That immediately puts in the conversation. Yeah, Marwell,
or
Jesus,
Marwell, which,
yeah.
Like, think the fact that the pair of you both chose that for our Pokemon Madness set. Oh no.
Good old Tubjaw. Pain in my arse.
Yep. It's definitely like a, not, I wouldn't even say it's a tentacle, but it is fairly forgettable out of the series, I have to say.
It's one of those games, it's one of those Pokemon that it's like surprisingly tanky. You know?
Yeah.
It's like it kind of puts you off as well, because you're thinking like, oh, I just cleared this guy in like 2 seconds, and he's just like, he's taken 2 super effective hits. What the fuck?
I get you.
So this is me deciding what to do with Bashaf here.
So you've decided Bashaf is doesn't have the best moveset at the minute.
Kind of.
Fairness, isn't he?
Yeah.
Isn't he? He's a physical attacker, and yet he has Feint, which is special, as far as I know.
Feint attack is physical, but Dark Pulse is special, and Dark Pulse is kind of like is a more powerful move. So they kind of equalize a little bit.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, we've got more surfing to do here, to get to what is our next town, which is it's not called Snow Point, but it's very similar to it. It's like, I think, a snowbank or something like that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder what types it'll be.
Oh, it's a mystery to us all, James, isn't it? I mean, it's a town called Snowbank could be anything. Could be absolutely anything. You never know what it could be. So
it'll be a steel type gym.
Exactly, just to throw you off the scent. But yeah, this is our token water ice type of the game. So say hello to not Dugong, I guess.
In fairness, could do a lot worse than to have it on a team. I'd say.
I guess. I think like it's always that thing where like when ice is there, it just kind of like it just ruins things a little bit. Like it's just it's an unfortunate typing. I always said.
The only thing that ever really like with the ice types, it's the weakness to fighting that hurts it.
Yes.
But that being said, ice type tends to be a late game type that gets brought in, whereas fighting, I think, kind of peters out before then.
I suppose so, yeah, because like at that point you would have had like a psychic or a flying at that point, so
yeah,
kind of nerfs it a little bit. And plus, like the ice is was very bespoke in the first in the old games, which was as an answer to dragon, really. Yeah, which you weren't to know at the time was like the only thing that was like strong against dragons, really, because like there weren't any like dragon moves that were actually useful. So, and
you didn't really fight a dragon until you hit Lance.
That's it, yeah. So when you hit Lance, you're going like, none of my moves are effective. What the fuck do I do? Like rock is kind of good, I guess. Dragons are weak to rocks, But like, yeah, ice is like a natural like, oh wow, this is the one that works. Okay, I'll use an ice type then.
But again, you only ever use ice type whenever you're up against a dragon, because what else is it good against?
Yeah, precisely.
I'm just trying to check what, like, because you would have had Jinx, you would have had Dugong,
Lapras.
What other? Lapras, yes, would have
Lapras,
been, and Articuno.
And Cloyster.
Cloyster's water ice. You're right, yeah. Again, that's like things I would have forgotten. And
it's also a type that doesn't really match up with what it should be either. Like like when you see Cloyster, you think like it should be something else than water ice. You'd
think it'd be like water rock.
Yeah,
because you look at it and it looks defensive.
That's it.
Well, it looks like something else, but.
Rubble. But yeah, I get what you mean. Like, in a way, like it kind of does like work for what it is, but I would have gone a different way with Cloyster.
I don't think any of them you'd really call as being fast. Was Cloyster fast? Can't remember.
Nah, they were all fairly slow. I think Dugong was probably the fastest there. Actually, no, Jinx I think was quite fast because they had this weird like little shorthand that psychics were inherently fast but had like shit defense. That was kind of the shorthand to help to make it a Pokemon.
Jinx is one that I would just sooner wipe out of. Like if I ever got my massive, if I ever got mass okay, you can retcon things.
Yes. If you've got control over the
Jinx would be one
timeline,
I would just get rid of Jinx completely.
I think a lot of people will agree with you on that one, just for how problematic it was.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and probably have bring in the concept of regional variants as early as possible. So you have your Cantonian Magnemite, and it's pure electric, and all other kinds of Magnemites is the new one, which is the part steel one.
Yes. Oh, that would have been good, yeah.
And actually give a reason like that. And hey, there you go from the get-go.
This is what I'm just trying to think, because like when you're doing regional dialects, the soonest you could have done that was Gen 5, because that's clearly set in America, you know. So you could have made an argument that like Braviary is supposed to be like an American Pidgeot, so you've got to call it a Unovian Pidgeot or something.
I would have loved if they had done that. If they had now we know you all like a Geodude. Geodude is everyone's favorite, mine included. Yeah. But take a look at this. And that could be, don't even call it, it's not Roggenrola, it's your Unovan Geodude.
Yes. But I think at the same time, they had never really quite, they weren't doing an actual, a motif.
One-to-one.
Yeah, they weren't doing the motifs to those Pokemon at the time. They were making them unique.
And no, they were homages,
yeah, but they were subtle.
I don't think there's much about the Pokemon series you'd call subtle.
Well, it's different when it is just Geodude with the mustache, kind of way. At least to say, well, this is your Geodude type. This is the equivalent of it. In the same way, everyone has their Route 1 Pokemon. You're oh, what's it this time? Oh, it's a sheep. That's adorable. Everyone loves a sheep. So it's that kind of thing. I call that subtle, where it's based off the cliches that more than anything else. Whereas with the obvious ones where literally is oh, here is a new type of Geodude, and everyone loves it or everyone hates it, So in that sense, I wouldn't know which way you'd go with that, because I think the Alolan forms, it makes sense too, because of it's a Polynesian area, so therefore it's going to be really nice and colorful things basically. With the Unova one, the Galarian ones, I like what they did. They were kind of more creative about it, with by basically making things a bit more British and having a motif to them. But at the same time, I'm glad they didn't overdo it either, And then it was a bit of a mixture, actually, now that I think of it, because some of them were just fun designs, like Weezing. Weezing's a great design, but it does serve a purpose though.
Weezing is the joke one, Exeggutor, while it makes all the sense in... Oh, you got Super Rod, nice.
Yeah.
While it makes all the sense to have, the Exeggutor with the massive neck and it great bit of lore building, it's also a massive joke because you can't see its head.
Yes.
That is just funny.
It is funny, yeah.
But
I'm thinking,
one thing
what I was going to say there was some of the Galarian forms kind of served more of an actual competitive purpose, where their Manatan, for example, is literally just there to make ice type, to make a strong ice type, basically, an ice type that people would use competitively. And let's face it, if the ability is quite literally a fucking focus band, or not focus band, choice band, starting off, fuck, that's serious. That is a fucking hell of a Pokemon to deal with,
Yeah.
So you can see the logic in it. Whereas you just have somewhere let's do something creative. Let's have a Galarian form that evolves into something further, because you could argue that could happen in an ecology like that,
Yeah.
But again, they are just dex fillers at the end, really. You couldn't say Galarian Meowth into Berserker wasn't that great shakes, really. It was just something different.
Okay, if we do get a DLC 3, should Galarian Slowpoke get a third evolution?
No,
I think that it should. You've got you'd have a slow and then add on another thing to it. and that's how you can have like one for each of the DLCs.
Maybe, but I think you see, I quite like what they've done with the Slowbro and Slowpoke. They're two very different Pokemon, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And just like they're I wouldn't say they're necessarily good gimmicks in their own way, but they are certainly different. And in a way, like I don't know how you'd squeeze a third Pokemon in there. You know what I mean? Like how could you make something different out of that? I'd be intrigued, don't get me wrong, but like it'd have to be a sideways evolution. You couldn't do like in the same way, like you have to do another Slowking, not an evolved Slowbro. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that,
so you
well,
need
then,
to have a third.
you
need to make a third one.
Yeah.
One for each DLC.
Maybe, yeah. Or what I would do actually, right? If you are going to do something like bring back a certain Pokemon, let's say like that weren't in Galar to begin with, then give them Galar forms to begin with. You know.
Oh yeah.
So let's say not a great example here, but let's say like a Galarian Gligar, let's say, or Galarian starters, for example. Like what if the Gen 5 starters were like Galarian starting off, and there's your gimmick going into the DLC. And then once you kind of clear off the campaign and get all the boring shit out of the way, then, here's your Unovan starters. This is what they're supposed to look like, you know? That would kind of like hook people in a bit more. And then you could start doing this thing where like, these guys can mega evolve because they're like closer to France or some fucking round around bollocks like that. You know? You could do something like that, is what I'm saying. So like you could take one thing, and if the design is good, promote that, market that, and then make that a mega evolution, and those things are relevant again, you know. Because especially now that you do have the DLC thing, and by and large, like it is where the competitive play is going to be for the next like while. You can do shit like that. You can reinvent Pokemon and just throw them into the mix to see like what floats, you know?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So like totally you could do that.
I haven't seen Looker yet in the DLC, and I'm starting to think we might not see him.
That's a pity because he's a good character.
Like
he'd be a nice throwaway character to have in a DLC.
He it ties it in together. He's been post game in all the games he's been in. I think, apart from maybe Platinum, he was seen before then.
Yes.
But they could he's been in every gen so far. This could be like a way to work him into, get him involved in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, by the way, remember you were saying that like Bashaf should be able to learn Thunder moves? There you have it. It can learn Thunderbolt.
Lovely.
But I actually agree with you. Like having a Looker themed DLC would be kind of nice, because then you could say like, I'm investigating this that's happening in Galar. Like, I know they did the villains thing in Sun and Moon, in Ultra Sun and Moon, which is a bit of a shame, because that would have been a good thing to throw in for Galar. Is having like, like Team Galactic are here for some reason. Let's investigate it, you know. But they've kind of done that already.
The Rainbow Rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I won't lie, I kind of like that to become an ongoing DLC. Like if every main series game they put out, you're also going to get a Team Galactic Rocket episode.
Yeah, possibly. Because in the end, like there wasn't there wasn't a great villain from Sword and Shield, really. So it would make sense, like from a story point of view, you could just say, some more villains have arrived and they're actually a threat. Welcome change of pace, I know. You know.
See, these guys don't know how to deal with a villain, so they were taken over. The Brits were taken over fairly quickly. Oh, the dream.
What a horrifying look into the future. Political satire. Let's make the satire dance.
Oh no, but
yeah.
But no, what do you mean? Immigrants coming in and causing trouble?
That's never happened. That's a complete lie. Okay.
Oh no.
I love that. It's like, what was wasn't it the lead designer of Sword and Shield? He had he made a trip to Britain, and his three like kind of takeaways from it, if you pardon the pun, are chips, football, and just general pollution, I guess. If you're looking at the designs, like at the stuff that worked out. Oh, curry, it was the food. It was the curry that he took away from. So like, okay, let's make curry into Pokemon games. Fair enough. Let's give them big football stadiums. Big yes, that makes complete sense. And then just like
stadiums.
Yes, and then hooligans. Yes, that's what it was. So it was basically Britain has been summed up into 2 words: curry and football. That's England. Not the colonialism, not the weird accents, not the bad teeth. No, those are the 2 things that summarize England in a nutshell.